Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Amy Squires.
And I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith here. We got an interesting show for you guys. Typical patterns are returning, but hey, it's hot outside. I don't know if you felt it.
Still going to stay hot out too, unfortunately.
Yeah, fall's right around the corner though. 2 more days, just 2 days till we're in the fall season. Does that mean it's going to feel like fall outside? We'll find out. We'll just preview them just a little bit. Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We're not expecting too much in rainfall to come, but these temperatures are still going to be staying hot the remainder of the week and going into fall as well.
Yeah, we got football this weekend. We'll have your forecast for that as well. We got a couple events coming up. We're trying something new today as well with a lifestyle forecast later on the show if you want to stick around for that.
So it will be a very fun forecast day for us here at FSU Weather.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey, I got to stay inside and get away from the heat. It's nice to be in the studio, but
it's the exact same thing.
But I can't see outside, so that's the dilemma we were just talking about.
Yeah. So in our studio, we don't have any windows, unfortunately. We can't see outside, but hey, we don't know
what the weather is outside, so we're stuck indoors all day. But we'll give you the weather because we got graphics for that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even though it was pretty sunny outside today, no rain as far as on campus here.
No, spotty showers are still expected though around the area. Not necessarily for us here, but somewhere just pop up too or something, yeah.
And so now we're going to take it back over to Jake.
Thanks, guys. Now you know what the weather's like. It is really, really hot outside. Not feeling like fall in any way, shape, or form. 93 degrees here at 6 o'clock under partly cloudy skies. Winds are out of the east-northeast today. A little bit breezy out there at 10 miles per hour currently. It's been fluctuating a little bit between about 5 and 10 through the afternoon. We look at the satellite and radar, a couple of pretty strong thunderstorms down towards Cross City along coastal Taylor counties. Nothing really affecting the Tallahassee immediate area or Leon County as of now. We'll continue to track this over the next hour or two, but otherwise it's going to be looking like a pretty quiet night ahead for much of us around town. Current conditions around the area, 93 in Tallahassee, 89 towards Apalachicola, even warmer up in Bainbridge. We've hit the mid-90s. Our high today in Tallahassee was a toasty 95 degrees. As for tonight, 73 for your low, partly cloudy skies. Winds turning to the east-southeast, pretty light, about 5 miles per hour, about 3 miles per hour actually. And the headlines, heat remaining through the weekend with that football forecast on Saturday looking pretty hot at about 91 degrees and that local sea breeze pattern returning, heightening our rain chances just a little bit for the weekend in the early part of next week. But for now, we're going to go out to Michael with a look at the southeast.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. It's not only hot here in Tallahassee, it is hot across a lot of the southeast. 93 again here in Tallahassee, 92 in Montgomery, and 91 in Atlanta, well above average for this time of year. And it is really hot also in Mississippi as well, 91 in Jackson. Now the dew points, everyone is in the 70s in terms of the dew points, with the exception of Atlanta, so it feels a little bit less humid, a little bit more comfortable up there, but it is very muggy outside, so when you combine the two, you get very impressive heat indexes. Now your winds, we do have high pressure up towards West Virginia, and that is really causing this east wind across the majority of the southeast, turning a little bit more southerly as you head towards the Mississippi River Valley. Now what that high pressure is really doing is suppressing a lot of the thunderstorm activity across the southeast. That's why it's been really heating up in a lot of the southeast cities the last few days. We do have some showers on the edge of that high pressure in southern Alabama and in Mississippi, and then down towards Florida. That's basically your typical sea breeze pattern of those showers and thunderstorms. Now, as we go into the next few hours, you can see that high pressure really remains in control over the interior portions of the southeast, with mainly clear skies basically for everyone in the southeast to start off your Friday morning. And then as we head into the afternoon hours, you notice how we get a little bit more shower activity in Alabama. That is because the high pressure is going to move off into the Atlantic, so it will allow some of those showers to actually do pop in the afternoon. Now for tonight's forecast, very warm still across the entire portion of the southeast with 70s, 73 in Tallahassee, 71 in Atlanta, and 72 in Montgomery. And then for tomorrow, another hot day across the southeast with 91 in Tallahassee, 92 in Jackson, and 92 in Atlanta, which is 11 degrees above the average for this time of year. Finally, if you're heading up to Atlanta, once again, like I am, we do have the Tour Championship in town, the top 30 players in the FedEx Cup competing this week. Very hot conditions remain. We actually don't get to 90 degrees, thankfully, across Atlanta by the time we get to the weekend. And the 20% chance of rain is just due to the daytime heating, with high pressure starting to lose a little bit of its control over Atlanta. But again, the key for the 3 days across the Tour Championship is to stay hydrated and to take a lot of breaks in the shade when you're watching the top 30 players in the world. Now let's send it off to Sammy to go back into Tallahassee.
All right, thank you, Michael. So taking a look at our current temperatures, we are sitting at the high of the day of 95 degrees. Now we are still above the average, which is 88 degrees, and starting to creep towards that record of 100 degrees. Now, our current conditions throughout the Big Bend, you can see Tallahassee being that warm spot of 93 degrees, whereas Perry is still at 84 degrees. Towards the coast at Apalachicola, they are sunny and 89 degrees. So pretty much all around this Big Bend, we are in the low 90s, feeling very hot here at 6 p.m. Our dew points are starting to stick around those mid 70s. Now this is starting to feel oppressive here in the Big Bend. 75 at Perry. If you go towards Apalachicola, they are even more oppressive of around 78 with that dew point. Our heat index is what is making it feel very hot outside right now. 101 in Tallahassee. Very hot out. In Apalachicola, they are still at 103 for that heat index. So this is what the feels like temperature is. So it is still feeling very warm out right now. As far as our satellite in radar, we do have that cold front, but it is not quite going to reach Tallahassee within the next few days. Now, we are actually being affected by that high pressure system, like Michael was talking about a minute ago. Now, we don't have too much rain on our radar for our Tallahassee region, but there is some spotty showers that we could get within the next few days. As far as tonight, just a few clouds on our radar for the night. As far as our region, though, they may get a passing shower or two into the early morning hours. And going into tomorrow, fairly clear out for the majority of the day. Some clouds are going to be on the radar, but it will be a fairly nice day out for tomorrow. As far as tonight, 73 degrees is that temperature for tonight. It will be partly cloudy outside, but that 70 will feel very nice compared to the 90s of what we experienced today and into tomorrow as well. 93 degrees, mostly sunny, pretty similar to what we experienced here today. So it will be very hot out tomorrow as well. And for the next 7 days to come as well, Friday, 93 degrees, starting to cool off through the week to come. So maybe we will start feeling like those fall temperatures. As far as rain though, Monday is our next bigger threat of rain, I should say. Haven't had a shower here as far as tomorrow, and we may have a passing shower too. As far as temperatures though, those will start to drop into the 80s throughout the week. And now we're going to take it over to the desk. Dylan, Jake.
Look, we've been talking about the heat here, and as I call it, the heaty heat. That's just a way to describe it. It's so hot. We have some numbers for you. Jake, our numbers guy, going to teach us about how hot it is outside.
Yeah, so we're actually trying to crack record September heat here in Tallahassee. The average temperature for the month so far is nearly 83 degrees, and this happens when you take the high and the low temperature for the day and average it together. So we're even factoring in all those mornings we wake up in the lower 70s.
Yeah, we've been above average just a couple of degrees the last couple of days, and that's going to continue a little bit, but not as intensely.
Yeah, today's our 16th consecutive day hitting 90 degrees here in Tallahassee. 10 in a row now with the 95-degree day we saw today hitting at least 93. So despite the fact that our averages are still in the upper 80s for this time of year, this is some pretty intense heat.
Yeah, it's oppressive. I don't like the heat. We're still going to get into fall, and we'll still feel those summer-like temperatures despite it being fall.
Yeah, and it's not just limited to the Tallahassee area that's really experiencing this close to record heat for this month. Other cities in Florida, such as Tampa and Gainesville, are trying to make runs as well for the warmest Septembers on record.
That is not good. That's not great for personal influences. We're not seeing any bad impacts like we've seen some droughts in years past. Luckily, that's not happening right now, but it's just oppressive heat.
Yeah, other areas in the southeast even seeing some of that as well. Of course, the areas that weren't necessarily impacted by Florence as much and had the cooling associated with all that rainfall there. But yeah, we'll continue to track this. Hopefully, in the next week to 10 days or so, we'll start to see some cool downs in the southeast. Will that make it to Tallahassee? We'll have to wait and find out. Personally, I'm hoping for it.
I'm hoping you're the FROPA guy. We want some FROPAs here, which are frontal passage, but we're going to passage it on to the wall.
Well, Dylan and Jake, one of the main stories in the National is this, what we call a death ridge over the eastern two-thirds of the nation. Very hot conditions under that ridge of high pressure with 92 in Memphis, 91 in Atlanta. Once you get north of a boundary, which is going to become a warm front as we head into tomorrow, it's a little bit cooler, 79 in Washington, D.C. and 73 in Detroit. But this is the beginning stages of our next front that will move through the northern tier of the country. You can see a sharp divide in hot temperatures to more reasonable fall-like temperatures behind that front. And it's indicated by our dew points as well. Lots of moisture ahead of the Rocky Mountains, 65-degree dew point in Kansas City, 63 in Atlanta. That's because of the northerly wind due to high pressure over the Appalachian Mountains. Down toward the Gulf Coast, dew points are well into the 70s as well. Now, this winds, you can see we do have high pressure situated in West Virginia, but then out towards the edge of the Rocky Mountains, that's the beginning of the next front, and you can see that low pressure system spinning just south and west of Minneapolis, and we do have a severe weather threat right now in southern Minnesota. We're going to get into that in just a second. You can see the beginning stages of that first fall front moving through the plains right now, moving through Nebraska and in Kansas. But let's zoom into the Minneapolis region. You can see we do have the warm front just north of Minneapolis and the strong line of storms right now moving through the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro region. And as a result, we do have tornado watches and severe thunderstorm watches. Tornado watch in yellow just south of Minneapolis and a severe thunderstorm watch in pink. And then just west of Omaha, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning there. Now, out towards the southwest, they did get some monsoon moisture from a tropical depression that was in the Gulf of California yesterday. Now, most of that moisture is now moving into the panhandle of Texas, and it will continue to move into Oklahoma. But this hasn't really improved the drought situation. We still have an exceptional drought in the center of the Four Corners region, and they need much more rain to improve the drought situation over there. Here on our upper level water vapor, very high up in the atmosphere, you can see the beginning stages of that front, and it's going to move through the northern tier of the country as we head into tomorrow and through the weekend. So behind it, at least you'll get less humid and more comfortable fall-like conditions. So look forward to that. Now for tomorrow, ahead of that cold front, we will have that severe threat shifting from the southern Minnesota region into the Great Lakes region. So we have a slight risk for Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. So places like Columbus and Syracuse and Pittsburgh need to be weather aware tomorrow. Tonight's forecast very warm across the southern tier. And then as we head into tomorrow, you'll see that we do get that warm front moving up. Very warm conditions even into Ontario. Hot ahead of the cold front, cooler and more fall-like behind the cold front. Now let's send it off to Sammy with a look at Florida.
All right, thank you, Michael. So currently, we are still seeing temperatures around 93 degrees out. It is partly cloudy here in Tallahassee. These temperatures are still sticking around 93 degrees. As far as Perry down south, it is at 84 degrees, whereas Apalachicola is still sticking around 89 degrees. Now, if we take a look at our dew points, you can see these temperatures are still around 72 over in Tallahassee. Now, this is feeling very oppressive, but as far as our temperatures around Florida, you can see these are still in the 80s. Now, it is mostly cloudy throughout the majority of Florida with a passing shower over Tampa. As far as the dew point, we're seeing still in the mid-70s. As far as West Palm Beach, they are sitting around 77. That is very oppressive. They're definitely feeling very sticky outside in West Palm. Now, As far as our radar, you can see we do have a few showers on the radar. Now that will start to go off in towards the Gulf overnight. But as far as southern half of Florida, towards Miami, they may have saw a passing shower in as far as Fort Myers near that I-75 area. They are seeing some rain on the radar right now. As far as tomorrow, on the East Coast, seeing temperatures reaching high 80s, around 90 near West Palm Beach, and stretching down. They may have a passing shower in the afternoon. And as far as in Naples, Florida, on the Gulf Coast, they are still at, or they will be reaching around 90 degrees as far as tomorrow. Now, Central Florida, they may see similar temperatures as well. We're talking those low 90s, mid 80s as far as mid-Florida goes. And into tomorrow's forecast for our, for the Gulf Coast part, 89 over in Panama City. Now, we are going to take it over to Dylan with our local 2.
Thank you very much, Sammy. We're going to take a look at our local area and current conditions right now. Looking at 94 degrees, 93 actually degrees outside, 10-mile-per-hour winds out of the east-northeast. So it's following our pattern of this high pressure dominating and pushing the winds westward. So we're going to see that on the winds map. And then as we look at our temperatures around the region, staying hot still, cooler at Perry where they've seen some cloud cover and a bit of rain. But with these clearer skies, you do have those hotter temperatures. So it's a trade-off. You either want the rain or you want the heat. You got to pick one. Well, today we got the heat, not the rain. Moisture, though, prevalent throughout, and this is why we've been seeing those afternoon storms. There's a lot of moisture at the lower levels, which is like closer to where we are, but at upper levels where planes flying that, there's still a lot of moisture there, which has been firing up a lot of showers the last couple of days. We're going to still get that trend for today, tomorrow. Moisture prevalent. We're by the Gulf. What do you expect? Looking at our winds, though, coming out of the east, going westward, which isn't bringing in that Gulf moisture, so it's not a lot more moisture, but it's still a lot of moisture prevalent throughout. And then looking at our satellite, we do have this frontal system expected to die out, but then as we zoom back into our area, only a few spotty showers more towards our west. They're going to see a lot more rain on the western side of Leon County, but we do still have chances of rain throughout every part of the county and counties eastward as well. Looking at our future cast, we do see those storms move out, move mostly westward, clear out just a bit over the night, and then as we wake up tomorrow morning, not too bad. Mostly showers, though, over the Gulf, and then tomorrow day, we do have those showers kind of come back, try to keep creep back into our area. Western part staying relatively clear for tomorrow, but not too bad, not a lot of widespread showers. Tonight, confined showers to the coast and farther westward. Farther you go inland, nicer and cooler, 73 degrees here in Tallahassee. And then looking at tomorrow's forecast, warm conditions again, warmer where you don't have those showers, cooler when you do have those showers, 88 in Apalachicola. And then as we take a look at your 7-day forecast, a lot less rain tomorrow with those high pressure sitting over our area, suppressing those showers, but still moisture, and that's why we do have that 20% chance of rain. Tomorrow, Saturday, hey, the start of fall. And then into Sunday, we do still have 30% chance of rain. A lot of rain coming back into our forecast as high pressure moves its way eastward and out of our area. Low pressure starts to move back into our area, but we might see a front coming not this week, but next week, late into Friday, Saturday. It's still a possibility. We'll be tracking that later on throughout the week. But hey, fall temperatures aren't coming yet. Got to wait just a little bit more. But right now, we're going to send over to Jake and Michael.
Thank you, Dylan. With everything being pretty actually quiet in the tropics right now, severe weather has actually kind of gotten back into the mainstream a little bit in the national picture.
Yeah, usually fall is like the second peak of severe weather season. It's kind of the unknown season for severe weather.
Yeah, we don't really think about it too much here in Tallahassee because, you know, we're in September here and we're still in our pretty standard summer pattern this time of year until the fronts really start coming through once we roll in towards, say, October or so. But, you know, you already alluded to this a little bit earlier with some of those severe watches that are active in parts of the Midwest. How about we go into some more detail on that?
Yeah, the cold front moving out of the Rockies, it's basically the first true fall cold front that the U.S. has experienced this year, and we're finally getting our first severe weather of the fall season. So as I said, in Minnesota, they do have a tornado possibility, 10% probability within 25 miles. So you'll go into what that actually means.
Yeah, so you see the probabilities on the Storm Prediction Center's website. It'll be some sort of percentage that you see for wind, hail, and the possibility of tornadoes as well. What that means is basically you pick a point in that region and you have that percentage of a probability to see that type of severe weather essentially within 25 miles of that point. So the big threat here with tonight as well as tomorrow in the eastern part of the country is the damaging wind threat, but there still is a pretty significant tornado threat in those areas.
Yeah, we're focusing on southern Minnesota and Iowa as we go into the evening hours and into tonight. And then tomorrow, as a cold front makes its shift towards the east, we down focus on the Great Lakes region with Ohio, Pennsylvania, southern New York.
Yeah, some pretty big metro areas, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Cleveland, all included in that. So as Michael said earlier, stay weather aware for tomorrow for the potential of some damaging winds. But for now, we're going to take it back out to the wall. Dylan standing by with your lifestyle forecast.
Yeah, you want something to do this weekend or into next week? We got some ideas for you. Starting off with your marine forecast, if you want to go boating, jet skiing, anything on the water, you're going to expect only 5 to 10 knot winds. Not too bad, mostly off the Gulf and eastward. Continuing that pattern, but we do have some shower possibilities, 93 degrees. So not too bad of a day, hot for sure. And you want to keep that sunscreen. Sea's only at a 1 foot chop, so you're not too bad. No advisories for tomorrow. If you want to go out to the beach, St. George Island is a great place to go. 85 degrees as your air temperature, 87 as the water temperature, but those UV indexes are still very, very, very high. The sun is beating down. You want to have your sunscreen if you are going out to the beach. Skies are going to be sunny and not too bad of a surf if you're going in the water. Then if you want to go to Panama City, not too bad either, though their temperatures are a little bit warmer than they are at St. George Island. 90 degrees as your air temperature. Still, UV index is very, very high. You want to make sure you have your sunscreen with you because you're going to need it no matter your skin color. It's just hot and you don't want to get cancer. Looking at our 3-day forecast, you want 20% chance of rain tomorrow, hot into the 93s, but then cooling down just slightly 2 degrees into Saturday and Sunday. And if you want something to do more close to campus, we got the res for you. 88 degrees tomorrow. Not too bad of a day. A little bit windy, but hey, if you want to get on the paddle boat, go a little, just enjoy the water, enjoy some local Tallahassee nature. Definitely something to do for that. And then going into Friday night forecast, we have 2 events for that day. Friday night block party for the home football game coming this Saturday. We also have the women's volleyball game, which is indoors, but 93 degrees as if you're heading out to both of those events. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Not different than what we've seen the last couple days, just typical patterns. And then going into your golf forecast, of course we've got your golf forecast. It's FSU weather, 75 degrees as you wake up. And then into noon, you get 89 degrees. Rain chances aren't too bad, but it's hot. If you are going out to the links, you're going to want to have your water bottle with you because it's just hot and you're going to be beating in the sun. Want to make sure you're protected as well. And then we have your football forecast. I can forecast possibly a win, 91 degrees. Kickoff is at 3:30, so it's going to be hot and humid. We're in the hotter part of the day as that game starts, but it's going to be very, very hot, and that's going to be a continuing trend. As we look at tonight, showers clearing out, and then rain moving back into our area later tomorrow afternoon. Now let's send it over to Jake.
All right, thanks a lot, Dylan. We're going to go back to just more of a traditional local look here, starting with our FSU Weather Stem camera about 6:30 here on Thursday evening. Looking beautiful as we look off to the west over Doe Campbell Stadium. The sun shining bright over the stadium as of now, and that heat is sticking around as well. 93 degrees is the current temperature in Tallahassee. We got up to 95 again for our afternoon high today. 90 up towards Thomasville as well as Valdosta. Sunny skies for most of the area, except parts of Taylor County are seeing some fairly heavy rainfall, which is helping to cool things down closer to the 80-degree point. A little bit more humidity in these areas as well, a 74-degree dew point over in Perry, but look at this drier air off to our north and west. Bainbridge really sticking out like a sore thumb. It's 63 degrees currently on that dew point. Here's our national satellite and radar look, obviously this being the big feature across the center part of the country, but a relative non-factor for us here in Tallahassee. Much of the southeast is fairly dry. Florida is seeing some pop-up thunderstorms as the afternoon has progressed, but we'll zoom into Tallahassee and look in more detail at that. Again, a couple of strong storms have been forming a little bit earlier in the afternoon over towards Cross City, pretty much lining along the Big Bend coastline off to our east. Nothing really affecting Tallahassee as of now. A couple of spotty showers are still possible as we work through the rest of the evening hours, but everything else is effectively out of our way. Going into the futurecast for tonight, again, some weak showers are going to be moving from east to west across our area, mostly confined to over the coast and over the Appalachia Bay as we work through the overnight hours. So similar pattern to the last couple of days. We've woken up to a couple of showers over the waters, but nothing really affecting us here. Ultimately looking like a pretty nice day. Cannot rule out the possibility of a stray shower or storm tomorrow afternoon, but one of our lower rain chances really that we've seen throughout most of the summer here around town. For tonight's forecast, 73 degrees for that nighttime low, partly cloudy skies in Tallahassee. Again, a slightly higher chance of rain near the coast, so that's why I see the thunderstorms possible in St. Marks and Apalachicola, where those temperatures are just a little bit higher, up in those middle 70s. For the day planner tomorrow, waking up to a 74-degree temperature under mostly clear skies, heating up very quickly, so we're going to get back up to those lower to mid-90s. Some areas could again be seeing temperatures near 95, although us here in Tallahassee will be expecting a high of 93 in the afternoon. If so, that'd be day number 11 in a row getting at least to that temperature. And as for your 7-day forecast, again, a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, high of 93 for us, so looking like a pretty nice couple of days ahead for the first day of fall as well as football game day. Another hot and sunny one. A high temperature of 91 is in the forecast. Working into the early part of next week, we'll start to see that high pressure winding down just a little bit. Temperatures dropping back towards the 90-degree point with the rain chances picking up just a little bit, reflecting more of a standard summertime pattern in that sense, where we'll have a little bit more thunderstorm coverage in the afternoon. And as we work towards the middle to late part of next week, also looking at sort of the same story, temperatures getting near that 90-degree point. Beyond that, I'm hopeful that we're going to be seeing our first real cool down of the fall. That will still keep highs in the 80s if a cold front is to come through later on, but it will at least make the mornings feel a lot more refreshing with some drier air, hopefully filtering in, but we'll keep an eye on that as we work through the next week or so. But to close things off, going to go back to the desk where Sammy and Michael are standing by.
All right, thank you, Jake. Now, we are seeing that fall forecast, but it's not looking too much like fall.
Yeah, even though the first day of fall is on Saturday, it still feels like we're in the dead of summer with temperatures well into the 90s still.
Still over in the 90s. We're seeing some of those 80 temperatures throughout the second half of the week, but that's still very hot, still well above our average.
Yeah, we have Parents Weekend this weekend at Florida State, so it's going to be a hot one for all the parents coming down here. I'll be out of town, heading up to Atlanta, which is not going to be much different.
Well, we do have that kickoff around 3 p.m., so that will be the hottest part of the day on Saturday.
Yeah, and then as we go into next week, high pressure moves into the Atlantic, so we get our normal afternoon showers and thunderstorms, and then maybe, just maybe, as we turn the page into October, maybe a little taste of fall is possible. It's still too early, but the signs are pointing to some cool down as we turn into October.
Hey, I'm hoping for it. I'm getting ready to get my pumpkins. I'm ready for fall.
Yeah, I think we've all had enough of summer and want to just get that taste of fall, the more crisp, refreshing air you feel in the morning.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and later at night as well. I'm missing those cooler temperatures at night and not feeling as sticky walking home from the library late at night.
Yeah, but in the near term, we're still going to deal with these hot and humid conditions, so let's hope by the time we get into that first week of October, we might get a little bit of a change.
But hey, make sure you're following us on Twitter with all of your fall updates.
Yep, and also like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And make sure you're watching us live every day, Monday through Friday on YouTube.
And don't forget to post on the Instagram at FSU Weather. You might send a pic of pumpkin spice latte to make you feel like it's actually fall. So,
or you can take a picture with your pumpkin spice latte in front of the weather, and we'll put that on.
That will help
We'll
as
see.
well. Yeah, but for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Michael Annan.
And I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires. Have a great night.